No one in China could have predicted what happened that evening, not the fans, not the press, not even the seasoned entertainment reporters who had followed Yulong and Yang Mei Mei's every move for years. It started as a regular broadcast, a beloved national talk show known for its structured interviews, polished lighting, and carefully curated celebrity appearances. But the moment Yulong and Yang Mei Mei stepped onto the stage, the air shifted. The audience didn't know why, but they could feel it. Something monumental was about to happen. For months, the couple had vanished from the public eye, leaving behind a vacuum that the entire Chinese entertainment industry tried desperately to fill with speculation. They were once the most followed public figures in the country: Yulong, the charismatic singer with a voice deep enough to silence stadiums, and Yang Mei Mei, the actress whose elegance and screen presence had made her a household name across Asia. They were adored individually, and even more so together. Then they disappeared. Not gradually, but overnight. One day they were everywhere, the next, nowhere. When the announcement came that they would finally reappear on national television after 8 months of complete silence, the country erupted. Fans assumed they would announce a new drama, a comeback album, perhaps even confirm the long-rumored relationship everyone had been whispering about for years. But no one, even the most imaginative netizen, came close to guessing the truth. The studio lights dimmed as the host welcomed them. The audience erupted into applause, then quieted at once, as if the collective breath of the nation had been sucked out of the room. Yulong walked out first, composed but strangely emotional. Yang Mei Mei followed, radiant yet nervous, dressed in soft pastels that seemed to hide her trembling hands. They exchanged a quick glance, an unspoken pact, before turning toward the cheering crowd. Then the camera zoomed in. The entire country froze. Each of them was holding a baby. The studio gasped, audibly, violently, followed by a wave of astonished cries. Even the host struggled to maintain composure, gripping cue cards so tightly the pages bent. The livestream chat exploded. The number of viewers tripled in under 60 seconds, then quintupled, pushing the servers to their limit. On Weibo, hashtags instantly climbed to the top of trending. Yulong twins. Yang Mei Mei returns. Live TV shock. Never in the history of modern Chinese entertainment had a reveal so dramatic, so unexpected, unfolded in real time. But the meaning of this reveal was far deeper than a simple announcement. It was the answer to a year-long mystery, one that had tormented fans, sparked countless rumors, turned the couple into the most speculated about celebrities in the country. Their disappearance had left a gaping hole in the entertainment landscape, and into that hole had poured a flood of assumptions, conspiracy theories, and emotionally charged debates. Some netizens believed they had broken up. Others insisted Yang Mei Mei was secretly suffering from a severe illness. A few tabloids claimed Yulong was involved in a scandal too dangerous to be made public. There were whispers about illegal surrogacy, about family conflicts, about contracts collapsing, about a dark truth that forced the couple into hiding. Every person with an internet connection had an opinion. None of them were kind. Their silence became a breeding ground for the wildest imaginations of a restless digital nation. Paparazzi, desperate for content, camped outside their old filming locations, followed their managers, stalked their friends, even investigated relatives who had no involvement in the entertainment industry. Photos of random women carrying bags were labeled Yang Mei Mei spotted, even when the figure looked nothing like her. Meanwhile, every shadow that passed near Yulong's apartment complex was turned into speculation. The obsession reached an uncomfortable peak when fans began analyzing satellite images of neighborhoods where witnesses claimed to have spotted the couple. It was a surreal level of invasive curiosity that only grew stronger as their silence deepened. Yet, on that stage, holding two small, peaceful bundles wrapped in soft fabric, Yulong and Yang Mei Mei looked nothing like the exhausted, broken couple the internet had been imagining. They looked whole, united, radiant, and though their smiles trembled, they radiated a courage that came from months of protecting something fragile and precious. The host finally found his voice, cracking slightly. "Are those?" Long nodded. His voice was calm, but his eyes glistened. "Are our children," he said softly. Yang Mei Mei added, "Our twins." Fans in the studio cried openly, some from shock, some from relief, some from the overwhelming emotional whiplash of learning, in one instant, that everything they thought they knew was wrong. screens across the country showed people gasping, covering their mouths, texting frantically, telling family members to turn on the TV right now. Chinese social media melted into a chaos nobody could have prepared for. As the initial shock washed over the audience, a second wave of confusion struck just as fiercely. When? Where? How? Why twins? Why now? And most of all, why were they hidden? Why had the couple kept this life-changing truth from the world for so long? In the studio, the babies slept soundly, oblivious to the hysteria surrounding them. Mei Mei rocked the baby in her arms gently, smoothing a tiny curl of dark hair off the infant's forehead. Her breath trembled, but she held her head high. This moment was terrifying for her, yet it was also the most important moment of her life. As she opened her mouth to speak, the entire nation leaned forward. She explained, not in rehearsed lines, in stiff PR language, but in trembling sincerity, that their decision to hide the pregnancy had not been driven by shame or scandal. It was driven by fear. The kind of fear only those who have lived under the relentless glare of fame can understand. She described how every role she accepted, every outfit she wore, every public sighting was analyzed, twisted, and picked apart. She spoke of the pressure of being a Chinese actress in an industry where perfection is expected and privacy is considered optional. She confessed that when she learned she was carrying twins, something inside her changed. The desire for self-protection became a primal instinct to protect the two small lives inside her, lives that deserved a world free from judgment and noise. She said tears had filled her eyes the moment the doctor announced twins, not out of fear, but out of love so overwhelming she wasn't ready to share it with anyone but Yulong. Yulong placed a hand on her back, supporting her, and added his own truth. The silence, he said, was his decision as much as hers. He had seen, early in his career, how children of celebrities became objects before they were even old enough to walk. He had seen tabloids chase toddlers, strangers post hateful comments about children's appearances, studios use kids as marketing tools. Used to let that happen to their family. So they vanished into a world of closed doors, late mornings, late-night fears, and whispered hopes. Their families helped them stay hidden. Their closest staff members kept the secret, and they planned to raise their children quietly, away from the crushing machinery of fame. They had intended to keep the twins private longer, but something changed. Though they did not reveal it yet, there was a reason they chose this exact moment to appear on live television. A reason tied to the darkest part of the past year. And no one knew. For now, the truth remained hanging in the air, unspoken. But as the host attempted to transition to the next question, hoping to make sense of the whirlwind, the couple shared a glance, one that suggested they weren't ready to lay bare the full story just yet. And then Yulong said a single sentence that sent chills across the nation. Tonight, we will tell you everything. The real shock is not that we have twins. Resumed into his face, capturing the painful sincerity in his eyes. It's the reason we were forced to hide them all this time. The lights dimmed, the audience gasped. Every viewer watching at home clutched their chest in anticipation. Real story, the story behind the secrecy, behind the disappearance, behind the live reveal, was about to begin. Studio fell silent again. Yulong finally revealed the truth that had weighed on them for nearly a year. Their plan had never been to step into the spotlight with their children, not now, not so soon. And certainly not on live television in front of millions. Something forced their hand. A foreign paparazzi agency had secretly obtained photos of the twins during one of their rare outdoor walks. And negotiation messages threatening to release the images had already reached their management teams. It was a blow that shattered the quiet sanctuary they had fought so hard to build. Mei Mei's voice trembled as she admitted how terrified she had been when she learned that strangers had managed to photograph their babies without permission. Children were barely a few months old, she said softly. They didn't choose this life. They didn't choose the spotlight. And they didn't deserve to have their first moments stolen, bought, or sold. The couple realized that if they continued to remain silent, the images would surface anyway, twisted, monetized, and stripped of their purity. That was when they made the boldest decision of their lives, to reclaim the narrative before it was taken from them. Live television became their shield, an unedited space where the truth could be spoken directly, without manipulation. Onto that stage with trembling hearts, not to shock the world, but to protect their children from being exploited. Yu Long spoke with a steadiness that barely concealed his fear. He explained that their disappearance had not been due to scandal or illness, but to ensure a safe pregnancy. Mei Mei had suffered severe stress during her second trimester, and doctors repeatedly warned that emotional upheaval could put the twins at risk. Determined to shield her, Yu Long proposed they withdraw completely from public life. "I wanted her to breathe," he said. "To be a mother without fear, without noise, without the pressure of the world watching." The audience, once electrified by shock, sat in absolute stillness. Even the cameras seemed to move more gently, capturing the delicate honesty unfolding before them. Mei Mei admitted that her silence had been a choice born from love, not secrecy. She wanted the twins to open their eyes into a world that wasn't already stretching out claws toward them. She wanted their first days to smell of warm blankets and quiet mornings, not the metallic coldness of the internet. Her voice softened as she glanced at the sleeping babies. "Didn't hide them because we were ashamed," she said. "Them because we wanted them to begin life peacefully." Peace, they explained, had become impossible to maintain once tabloids learned of their existence. The pressure grew unbearable. Their agencies begged them to make a decision quickly before the story leaked. And so, standing hand in hand, chose the one platform where they could look directly at their fans and say the truth in their own voices. Yu Long looked into the camera and delivered the message that became the emotional core of the entire broadcast. "These children are not part of the entertainment industry. Part of our family. Please let them grow as human beings, not headlines." Tears filled the eyes of many in the audience. Countless viewers at home had the same reaction. The live broadcast transformed from a shocking reveal into a quiet plea, one that resonated across China and rippled through international audiences. The couple didn't announce names, confirm genders, didn't show the babies' faces clearly. They gave nothing away that could be used against them. Instead, offered a simple, vulnerable truth, that parenthood had changed them. They were willing to fight the entire machinery of fame to protect their children's future. As the broadcast neared its end, the host asked softly, "Will this be the last time the twins appear publicly?" Mei Mei nodded. "Yes. The moment is only to correct the narrative. After tonight, we return to privacy." And with that, the lights gradually dimmed. Yu Long stood, lifting his baby gently against his shoulder. Mei Mei held the second twin close to her chest. Expression a mixture of relief and unspoken fear, but also fierce determination. Together, they walked off stage with slow, deliberate steps, as if stepping out of a roaring storm and back into the quiet life they had been trying to protect all along. The cameras cut to black, but the image lingered in the minds of millions, a family choosing love over fame, truth over rumor, and peace over spectacle. The reveal was shocking, but the reason behind it was even more powerful. And for the first time in months, the world finally understood their silence.